Hi everyone, it's James here from Jivey Talks Tech. Now, last week I put out a video review of the Lewitt Ray condenser microphone and their new Connect 2 audio interface. And since then, the good folks at Lewitt have reached out to me about a new product they're launching, which is a bit of a sidestep into the unknown for them, because this is not hardware, it's a software plugin for your DAW, and it's called Space Replicator. So, what is Space Replicator? Well, let's back up a little bit. First, we need to ask ourselves how much we sonically trust our listening space, our listening environment. And what I mean by that is, does the space we're mixing in affect the sound of our mixes? Well, I'll let you into a little secret. It just does. No matter how good your room, the space in which you mix will affect the sonic outcome. That's why people like Chris Lord-Alge or Bob Clearmountain work in their own rooms or in rooms they know well. They know how the sound they get in those rooms translates, and that's the important word here, translates into other music reproduction spaces, from nightclubs to concert halls, from cinemas to your living room or kitchen. A good mix will sound great in all these spaces. Space Replicator is there to help you experience your mix in a number of different rooms or spaces, or through a number of different listening devices. Now, as I'm sure you know, this has sort of been done before by companies like Waves with their NX system and Stephen Slate Audio with VSX. But both of these systems required specific hardware or dedicated headphones. Then, of course, there's the SonarWorks Sound ID reference software that allows you to apply a calibration curve to your own headphones. Lewitt Space Replicator does both of these things in a software-only solution. So let's take a closer look. This is the Space Replicator plugin, and it's designed to sit as the final plugin in your DAW's master fader. Now, you must remember to bypass or disable the Space Replicator before you bounce your mix. And at the moment, Space Replicator is only a stereo plugin. So let's not try and put this on some kind of scary multi-channel Dolby Atmos master fader. The GUI is a nice and easy place to understand. We have the main graphic of the virtual space we're listening in, a master volume with in and output level meters, the space selector, and where applicable we can change the speaker we're listening to if there are more than one pair available in that space. And we can check our mix through different types of headphones or earbuds. However, in the bottom right is where it gets interesting. Lewitt have analysed and modelled over 600 different pairs of headphones from many, if not most, of the world's most well-known headphone manufacturers. You start by selecting the make and model of headphones you're using. Then you can create and apply a binaural profile using a test system that is part of the Lewitt website. This is basically a listening test where you're played two versions of a track and asked which one you prefer. There are 10 rounds to go through, where, from what I can tell, there's a very slight EQ difference between versions A and B, and then the final test has A, B and C. But what's really smart is that the new profile is saved as part of your My Lewitt account and can be sent to the Space Replicator plugin automatically. There's no save as file X, location Y, and load from location Y as file type X. It's seamless. So once you've created your calibration and applied it to the plugin, how do the spaces and headphones sound? Do they make it sound like you're in those spaces? Well, to be honest, I have no idea. I have been lucky enough to visit the Lewitt Studio A at their HQ in Vienna, and yes, it sounded quite stunning. But to be fair, that was a while ago. I've not had the fortune to visit the Synchron Studio in Vienna, where it would appear they mix through two different models of Adam speakers, and I've seen plenty of videos on the White Sea Studios YouTube channel to let me believe that their main room sounds great. However, I don't think it matters that I, or indeed you, or anyone using Space Replicator has first-hand knowledge of the rooms or spaces in question. What the Space Replicator is for is to, firstly, give you a consistent mixing or mastering environment when you maybe need to work on headphones, or you maybe need to work away from your normal mixing space. Yeah, I guess those two are kind of the same thing, really. But mainly, for me at least, Space Replicator is a fantastic mix checker, giving you the ability to check how your mix sounds quickly and easily in a variety of different mix environments or on different playback mediums like a soundbar, iPad, iPhone or earbuds, without the faff of having all that kit in the studio. I'll take you through some of the different spaces and how they sound. Now, of course, you're hearing this video on your speakers or headphones or earbuds, and they're probably not the same ones I'm using. Also, I've created the profile for my ears and my hearing, shot as it may be. So yes, it's not going to sound the same for you as it does for me right here, right now. You've got to love the human condition, don't you? What I'm trying to say is the best way for you to find out if Space Replicator works for you is to try it. I'll leave the links down in the blurb. So here we go, and just to note, I've used both the Audio-Technica ATH M60X closed back on-ear, here we go, on-ear headphones, and the Sennheiser MD 490 Pro over-ear open back headphones in my tests. But you'll be able to see which I'm using both on my head and in the Space Replicator plugin. So there you go, the new Space Replicator plugin from Lewitt, a smart way to test and check your mixes in a virtual space or playback device. The Space Replicator experience has been very well thought out. It's easy to use and didn't give me any issues with regard to installation or setup. The calibration or profile creation was easy. However, I'd love to know more about the process and how each round of tests is designed to give an answer that crafts my custom binaural profile. Lewitt, any answers there? The different listening spaces all sound good, and I love the fact that Lewitt have included the Watergate Club from both the dance floor and DJ booth, and with and without people. As anyone who's ever mixed a live gig will tell you, getting bodies into a venue makes all the difference. The really useful feature of Space Replicator is the more consumer modes like car, kitchen, living room, etc., and the consumer headphones and earbuds. As, like it or not, this is where 95% of our music is consumed these days. Short of taking your MP3 out to the car or beaming it to your TV soundbar, this is as good as it gets. I'm really impressed by Lewitt's first exploration into software. Really great job. Space Replicator will be finding its way into my mix template, and for 89 UK pounds, it's an absolute bargain. So I'll leave links to the Lewitt website down there in the blurb, and if you've liked what you've seen and heard in this video, please do like, subscribe, hit that bell to be kept in the JTT loop. But for now, my name's James Ivey from Jivey Talks Tech, and I'll see you again very soon.